Your muscles have lactic acid built up in them. That's why you're feeling sore. At some point, you must have heard someone or the other say this to you. Maybe your coach or your friend after a tough and intense workout session or a game. What if I told you that the soreness that you feel is actually not because of lactic acid? What if I told you there's no such thing as lactic acid? One of the long-standing myths in exercise science and popular culture is that lactic acid is the reason that you feel that burn after the intense workout or the game that you play, and it lingers on for a while. But the body doesn't produce lactic acid even during intense bouts. Are you shocked? So was I. For years, the terminology that have been taught to us is based on outdated research. Now that new researches have come to light, I think it's important to learn and understand. Let's talk about the so-called lactic acid in slight depth to better understand and appreciate the machine that the human body is. Hey guys, this is Yas and welcome to Ita Sports. There are two primary ways through which physical activity is powered: anaerobic metabolism in the absence of oxygen and aerobic metabolism in the presence of oxygen. Both produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency of the body. But anaerobic metabolism does it faster but cannot sustain over a period of time, which is why it is the primary energy system for high intensity activities. So if you want me to cover different metabolisms slightly in depth, write down in the comments and I'll do it soon. But as a consequence, anaerobic metabolism produces waste products such as hydrogen ions faster than the body can actually dispose them. It's the increase in these ions that cause acidification, known as acidosis, and that's what causes the burn. It's not the lactic acid, it's the waste product like hydrogen ions. The body produces a substance called lactate when it breaks down carbohydrates. Now, lactate is not actually a waste product. In the presence of oxygen, lactate is used to create more ATP in your cells to produce energy. In fact, it actually delays fatigue rather than causing that burn. So, this is the light bulb moment when you realize that whatever you knew is not accurate. Lactic acid does not cause the burn. I'm saying it again. So in fact, the substrate is called lactate, not even lactic acid. So when hydrogen ions are created in number and they cannot be disposed of, that's when the burn starts to happen. It's acidosis. So as you know, muscle stores something called glycogen, which is your energy reserve. So approximately 80% of glycogen is stored in muscles, whereas 20 to 25% is stored in liver that can be supplied for the brain, because the brain's primary nutrition is through glycogen. So liver's primary responsibility is to regulate blood glucose for brain. Trust me, I will tie all of this up together to tell you how important lactate is in the system. Number one, now lactate is taken into the liver to create glucose again. So I can go in depth how in the glycolysis process, pyruvate is converted into lactate, but then lactate goes back into the liver to create glucose. Now glycolysis is anaerobic, so I'm not going to touch upon that much. I'm just going to talk about the basic and simplified version. Now, once this glucose is created in the liver, it can be used for the brain or the muscles. This is known as Cori cycle. A lady won a Nobel Prize back in the 40s for this. Also, during moderate to high intensity exercise, this lactate is taken into the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. Everyone has learned this in basic biology. So this is shuttled to create more ATP when it's required. Lactate is that important that it can fuel your activity and exercise. Now, next time when you feel a cramp, know that it's not the lactate or the lactic acid that's causing it, it's the acidosis that causes that. Also, another major misunderstanding is that DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness, is caused because of the buildup of lactic acid. But no, it's not. DOMS is absolutely different. It is the tiny tears in the muscle after your intense workout that have to be repaired so they can be grown and made bigger over a period of time. Now, metabolic processes are very complicated at times with a lot of terms thrown around here and there. So to understand them, it takes a little bit of time and effort. This is a very simplified version for you to understand what actually happens in your body. Now, there are definitely ways that you can make your body more efficient in throwing out these hydrogen ions so that acidosis does not take place. Now, obviously, if you want me to cover that, write it in the comments and I will specifically do a video for you to understand how to make your body efficient in doing this. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with people who actually do not know this concept and should know, Every athlete, every weekend warrior, every professional, doesn't matter. And as always, I'll see you next time.